Okay, sorry, I thought I was gonna be able to fit everything into one part, but so she's at the hospital, she's getting emergency surgery, and again, surgeon is a throat surgeon, so he's able to do everything he can. Obviously, she is in very horrible condition, but she makes it through. Listen to this shit though. So once she is out of surgery, she's like all bandaged up everywhere. She can't speak because her windpipe was literally crushed and her head was almost off of her body, and she writes down her attackers' names because they need it for the police report, and the police literally are like, we need you to say them. Like, you writing them down is not enough. We need you to say them. And Allison's doctors are like, well, she literally can't speak, so like, what are you gonna do? Allison somehow is like, take the tube off, whatever was helping her breathe. She's like, take it off long enough so that I can tell the police their names. So they take her the tube off, and she looks at the eyes of the police, straight in the eyes, and she says, my attackers are Franz and Tiens. So then Franz and Tiens get arrested, obviously, and they are so shocked when the police comes to arrest them because they thought that Allison was dead. They were like, they were acting like they didn't even know what this is about because they thought there was no way that Allison was still alive, and also no way that they had already found her. So they are so confused, whatever. Allison is healing in the hospital. She's released after only 13 days, which is insane. Obviously a long recovery ahead, but 13 days and she's out of the hospital. And then there is the trial. So the trial was 6 months later. Tiens and Franz have no remorse. One of them took the stand, I think it was Franz, and they literally were just like telling the court that this was not their fault because they were possessed by the devil. So they didn't do this, it was the devil. And then just the worst. Franz was sentenced to 3 life sentences and Tiens was sentenced to 1. And the judge actually made an exception on this case. He saw obviously how dangerous and horrible the men were, so he gave them no parole. At any point, they just would not be released from prison because they're just so horrible. Let's move back to Allison for a second. This is actually really sweet. So because of all the intensive surgeries and injuries that she had, the doctors tell Allison that she can't get pregnant or ever carry her own child. She ends up meeting this guy, they fall in love, they get married, which is so sweet, and I'm so happy for her because actually, what the fuck. Anyways, so she ends up actually getting pregnant. She is a healthy baby, healthy pregnancy. She gets pregnant twice, and this is really sweet. So Tien, the veterinary student who essentially helped save her life, ended up becoming a doctor, like a human doctor after that, because he just was inspired by Allison's story. And then Allison's second baby that she had, Tien, actually was the doctor that helped deliver the baby, which is so sweet. And probably the scariest part of the story, you guys are not even going to believe when I tell you this. So remember how I said the judge gave the exception and said no parole? Well, apparently there was some changes in the laws in South Africa, and Tiens and Franz have been released from prison as of July 2023, which is so scary. So Allison ended up just being a hero, and she traveled and still maybe travels around to say her story because it's obviously very inspiring. There is actually an Amazon documentary on it. I have not watched it, but I think it's just called Allison on Prime. So she is just like this amazing woman, hero, miracle. But yeah, Franz and Tiens are just out walking around now. I don't know if they're still in South Africa, but that is so scary. So I told you this story was a crazy one. If you want me to say another crazy one, comment down below. But yeah, pretty fucking nuts.